Hey, man.
What's up?
Oh, nothing much.
Oh, wow.
Hey, have you ever heard of EVE Online?
EVE Online?
EVE
Online.
EVE Online.
EVE Online. Oh, I thought you said EVE Online.
EVE
Which sounds, you know what it sounds like.
No, it's EVE Online.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, EVE Online.
Is that what you're saying?
That's
EVE?
exactly what I'm saying. EVE Online.
It sounds like it's a pyramid scheme website or a adult relationship
or
store.
Worse. No, actually, not even close. Neither of those. Well, actually, the first one maybe, kind of.
Like a pyramid scheme?
Kind of, maybe.
Cool. Hey, wait, before we go too far into this, we have a third microphone set up now.
Oh, we've got something exciting today.
So whose voice are we about to hear? Alex, say something.
Something.
Yeah, that's enough of that. So anyway, so EVE Online. As soon as we set it up, I was like, I'm going to let him say one word.
I mean, yeah, you literally only got me this. You can shut me down right away.
All right. Connor, edit that part out where he's saying more stuff.
I'm only sending that to Connor.
Give him that one word.
I will only send Connor the part where you try to shut me down.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it says, wow, I hate it already.
Look what you've done.
Connor, roll a theme song.
What are you giving me that face for?
I don't know.
Don't give me that face. Get
Subway
out of here
King
with that.
left the 99 for the 57,000th and one.
It's great for referencing this really niche joke in this niche podcast. My mom
Imagine getting fired by somebody and then they leave to do homework. Things I learned last night.
Okay.
So EVE Online.
EVE Online is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Oh, okay. Is everyone named Eve?
Yeah. Every character is named Eve. No, it's actually a space game. This is an alien episode. No, it's a space game that takes place like 21,000 years in the future.
Jeez.
In like the fictional Eden galaxy.
Okay.
And so it's named
Yeah, because
Eve.
Earth is long gone.
It's named Eve. Yeah, we've destroyed that a long time ago.
Sure. What tier of the Kardashev scale are they on?
I don't know. Actually, that'd be a fun little exercise.
It's worth going to the video just to see whatever weird thing Tim's shoulders just did. Fun little exercise.
Fun little exercise.
Speaking of fun little exercises.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to bring up what we did last week.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's great.
We had a good time. If you're listening to this happened like a month and a half ago now, but because we record so far in the future.
Yeah.
But, well, in the past.
We recorded so far in the past.
No, but we just did a thing for Google.
Yeah.
Man, I hope we don't screw this up by the time this comes out. Because what if like Google hates us by the time this is
By the
released?
time this comes out, we're not allowed to say their name anymore.
Yeah. We did a thing for... and no, we go down there and did this 8-hour live stream. If you have not watched it yet, it was honestly a blast.
On the internet.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can Google Play.
Why don't you go ahead and
live.
Bing it and look up.
Well, you go to Yahoo, you type in Google,
That's
and
what
then
I've
you
always
search
thought.
it.
You know, I'll be honest. When I was in college and I would got friend zoned, you know, and girls would then ask me for relationship advice, and I felt the way that Yahoo must feel when someone uses their search bar to type in Google.
Or when you install Safari, or you go to Safari to install Chrome.
It's the same thing. That's how it felt to be Darren in high school.
This is a fun bit. I'm glad we gave Alex a mic.
Okay, so back to EVE Online. So EVE Online.
You just wrapped up the Google thing that fast?
Oh, did you have something else you wanted to say about it?
You didn't want to say anything that fun about it?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Great. Whatever. You can go watch it is what I'm saying. It was a genuinely a fun time.
My favorite part about it is it was at a, we can't say that word.
Yep. It was somewhere.
It was at a park that
just
also
a
has,
park.
it was at a park that also has
took
studios.
over a city park.
It was at a park that also has film studios on it. And they gave a couple tours while we were there. And we're walking around with like the security detail everywhere we go.
People thought we were legitimate.
People thought we were famous. I saw them looking at us, and I'm like, little do you know, I have 1,200 Instagram followers.
I signed an autograph.
Did you? You did not.
Yeah, so I was like, James Corden. It was just great.
Okay, so EVE Online, this game is interesting. I'll give you a little bit of synopsis, and then we'll get into why we're really talking about it. Because
the year is 2022.
Yeah, something like that.
I guess that's 210,000 years in the future.
Yeah. So
2322.
23,000.
How are they going to do that? That's not our problem, but how are they going to how are they going to say time then?
Oh, they'll probably just have another Christ and they start time over.
Probably, I guess.
Every time it's getting too high to keep track, they're like, we
It's
need
just
something
easier to start a new Christianity every time.
Start it over. There's a reason why this game's significant. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm going to give you a very brief synopsis of what it is.
Okay.
It's a space age simulator, really.
Yes.
So the idea is you get dropped into this universe.
Yep.
Where there's a ton of stuff going on, and you kind of have to pick a career and live in this world. And so there's a bunch of options. You can be like a miner, you can be a merchant, you can be a shipper, you can be a soldier. Like there's
You did choose this though when you sign up for it?
I mean, it's not like it's like pick your option. It's as you get going, like you're creating your path. It's a lot like real life. Like nobody tells you, like nobody in the beginning is like.
When they were forming me in the womb, they weren't like podcaster.
There was a bunch of options. There was a bunch of options.
They light up.
It was you walking. What would you like to play as?
They choose my outfits.
Podcaster, comedian. Oh my gosh, Uber driver.
Oh, okay. That was the past.
What skills? Yeah, but we're recording in the past.
Okay.
I
hate you for that.
Yeah, so you basically are. It's kind of like The Sims, but if The Sims took place 21,000 years from now in a different galaxy.
Okay.
And you're just trying to live your life. What's interesting about it is that it's pretty big. They've got 9 million players.
Currently?
Yeah, they've got 9 million players.
This is a thing that's happening now.
Yes. The game came out in 2003. It's still active. There's still 9 million players playing
How many
it.
people are actively playing RuneScape?
Well, let's find out.
Let's Google it. Let's can't use it as a verb. Let's Bing that.
You just did. You just
You
used it.
did
as
the
a verb.
worst. RuneScape now, their player count is 57,000.
Really? What was the peak?
Okay, let's
much
see.
more than that. That's so little.
All right, let's see. The peak. I don't know this number. This is giving the paying subscribers is 1.1 million was the peak. And it says it in addition to many millions who
That's
paid
what
the
I'm
free
saying.
to access.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I don't
so
know
they
how
only
many.
have 57,000 players now?
Yeah. Which doesn't surprise me a lot. I mean, RuneScape kind of fell out of favor years ago.
Really?
Yeah. You're the
That's-
only person I know who's still interested in RuneScape.
I don't still play it. I'm not
Yeah.
still interested. I don't think I've logged in probably 6-7 years. I mean, I logged in like last year maybe to be like, look at my account.
Oh, look at my armor.
Yeah, sometimes I log in and remember my achievements of the past. But 57,000, that sounds crazy. Because I mean, yeah, there was millions of people who played it.
Yeah, there was at a time. Yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
a paying subscriber.
Were you really?
Yeah.
You're one of the 1 million.
For 1.1,
Yeah.
first of all. And I was the point.
Congratulations, you're the point.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay, so there are 9 million players
There's
currently.
9
on this
million
thing.
players currently.
That's a modern day RuneScape.
Kind of is. And it's always in the headlines.
I got to start playing again then.
Yeah, go for it.
57,001. You know?
Okay, cool. Eve is always in the headlines. What are you giving me that face for?
I don't know.
Don't give me that face. Get
Subway
out of here with
King
that.
left the 99 for the 57,001. That was my username on RuneScape, a Subway
I know
King.
it was. I know it was.
And my mom texted me when we were doing the Renaissance outfits on the Google Play live stream, and she said, if only Subway King could see you now.
That's hilarious. I love that your mom knew your username. I don't think my mom knew my
Well, she
RuneScape
paid for the
username.
subscription, so
Oh,
I was
guess,
a sixth grader.
She got an email every
didn't
month.
have a credit card.
that said, congrats, Subway King, on your subscription.
That's 100% what it was, too. Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. I wasn't a paying subscriber, so...
I tried to sign up for one of these games we had to play as Subway King, and the username was taken. And I was like, there's an imposter. Someone's out there,
Someone's out there trying to
pretending
be
that they're the
Subway
real
King.
Subway King. And
Someone saw that.
someone
in RuneScape.
has Subway King, the RuneScape character, at gmail.com, and it's not them. It's not me.
It's not me. Someone saw Subway King on RuneScape and they're like, "Oh, that's a cool name," and then they went and they set
That's
up
what
their
I'm saying,
accounts
dude.
as Subway King from then on. I guess. Anyways, so this game's always in the headlines for a few reasons.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, well, you're not looking.
Okay.
It's in the headlines for a few reasons. One, there's a lot of scams that happen in it. Two,
Okay.
it's in the headlines for
Real
these-
life scams or in-game scams?
both.
Okay.
And two, because its economy is basically real. Like it's basically the same as our economy, and there have
Is
been
it like a
some
Second
things-
Life situation where
Kinda, but a little different. But the economy is so realistic that economists will look to decisions that are made in the game to forecast what will happen in the real world when those decisions are made, because that's how realistic it is.
Okay.
But it's only realistic 21,000 years from now.
Yeah. That's super easy to be like, yeah, I mean, whenever we get to that time in the world, this is what's going to happen.
to the economy.
Yeah. Want anybody to think about the economy.
And third, because they have these, the thing with RuneScape.
How is the economy realistic? I guess I don't understand. Will we go into more depth?
Yeah,
about it?
we'll go into depth.
Okay.
And then the other thing is like talking about RuneScape. RuneScape, there was a couple hundred people in a server at a time, which was a lot for the time.
No,
And
that's what I'm saying. There's 1.1 million people. That's
Well, in
57,000 would be like one server.
Well, in a specific server back then, there's because they had separate servers
That's what
that
I'm
had a
saying.
max limit. So you could have a few hundred in a specific
No,
server
that's
at
what I'm
once.
saying. We had a couple thousand.
Yeah.
You know?
But there was a limit. Eve, there's theoretically no limit to how many people can be in a single server at once. So
How many servers are there?
The wars that they have
Are huge.
are gigantic, and so they're constantly in because they're here. Let me show you. I actually have a screenshot. This is actual gameplay footage of a war. All these are players in game,
I thought you were about to show me a dead guy.
Fully expected it.
and so it's absolute insanity because there's
Those are,
literal thousands of.
I guess I don't understand where the players
The players are the ships, so they're all the spaceships are controlled by an actual player.
So these are a bunch of ships, or is this one ship?
No, that's a bunch of ships that have amassed into one mega ship.
Is that real?
It's like Power Rangers.
That's what you're saying,
They
though.
come together. Well, yeah, it's not intentional. They're just flying so close together. They've morphed into a blob of.
And then this one guy at the end is taking on the blob.
Yeah, it's like I got him. I can handle him.
This looks like it would be a nerd's desktop background.
It probably is.
It's got the color makeup and all that stuff. You know, all it's missing is the little weirdly placed files.
Yeah. So they literally will have thousands of players in these battles, and the reason why it's making headlines though is because of the cost of these battles, because the economy. So let's dive into the economy.
in-game cost?
Well, yeah and no. So here, let's take a look at the economy. We'll come back.
Here's
to
the cost
wars.
of these battles. Many young men aren't getting married anymore. Look at the social cost. That's the true cost of video games. Is the youngins aren't reproducing anymore.
Because they're too busy fighting wars
And they're out
21,000 years
for
from now.
made up wars too. You know?
Okay, so the economy in this is crazy.
Okay.
Because the whole thing is player run. So most games you play, if you wanted to do anything, you're engaging with like NPCs which are not player controlled.
Sure.
And it's like
Non-player characters.
Yes.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, you're good. And it's stuff where the developers had set specific prices for items.
Sure.
Created quests that you're supposed to go on and missions that you're supposed to do.
Inflation doesn't happen.
Yeah, all this stuff is because it's pre-assigned.
Right.
Well, in this, every step of the road is done by players through the economy down to the entire supply chain. So there are people who their job is to go out and mine the materials.
Yep.
Who then they sell it to, or they ship it somewhere.
Well, that's their whole job?
Yeah.
What do you do every day? I go mine things so that my friend can go to war. What are you talking about? Yeah, every day I mine stuff and I go back to my computer wife, who's actually my real wife in real life.
She's upstairs.
That's my wife. That's my life wife, and then my
life wife.
Yeah, we're married in the game too. And would I have chosen something different? Sure, but I didn't know when my characters were at the beginning that I was going to be stuck like this forever. Yeah, I mean, like when I got to college, sure, I got a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. Not everyone was born rich like my buddy, who was able to
selected rich in the start screen.
He selected rich. What would you like to do? Would you like to be a potter? Do you want to be a woodcutter, or do you want to be rich? And I chose rich. Who's going to fault me for that? And now the poors want to say I didn't earn it. What do you mean there's people who mine?
There's a job where they go to the asteroids and they mine stuff off the asteroids. And then they pass those off to shippers who ship it off to a marketplace where people who run
what
refinement
if no one wants
companies,
to be a shipper?
People are.
No, what if no one wanted to be one, though?
They are. Well, actually, there was an issue. There was an issue about this.
You got a work shortage? You got now hiring signs within the game?
We could actually touch on that in a second, but let's go through the full supply chain first.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. If you like this podcast, you want more of it, please leave a review. That's super helpful to let others know who are searching for a podcast. And if you're new around here, we've been doing this for several years, and there's plenty of episodes to check out. One of my personal favorites is Agent Garbo. It was a guy who went to the government during World War II and was like, hey, let me be a double agent. And they were like, no. And then he was like, well, I'm gonna. And so he kind of went off on his own, did the thing. And it's also got some crazy details about World War II, about how the U.S. used inflatable tanks to trick Germany, all kinds of fun stuff. But if you want to go check that out, you can. But thank you so much for listening to this podcast.
So they actually have...
There's a full-on supply chain.
Yeah, they
got cruise ships, too? They've traveled?
They get stuck in the canal.
Yeah.
The space canal. No, they really do. You have people who are mining stuff off the asteroids.
Who wants to do this?
And then shipping it to a marketplace where the marketplace is selling those goods to refinement companies that are refining those mined materials.
Companies?
Yeah, and they refine the stuff. Ship it off to a marketplace where it's purchased by manufacturers.
Yeah, follow me on LinkedIn. I'm a CEO of a refinement company. Yeah. Oh, really? Like, you guys, it's an e-commerce thing for sure. It's an Eve commerce thing.
Eve commerce. And then the refiners ship it off to a marketplace. The marketplace then sells it to manufacturers who manufacture goods for end users. And then that gets shipped to actual marketplaces where people purchase all sorts of different goods.
Are there bots in this game?
Mm-mm. No, it's all player. It's all...
No.
There should be. What is that?
There should be. There should be bot miners who pass it off to bot shippers.
So all this stuff is not player.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way someone logs in every day and is like, gotta mine. So my friends can go to war.
I'm on my way to work, honey. Yeah.
I played a crucial role in the war. Really? What'd you do? I made the materials. I refined it. What are you talking about?
I mean, logically with that means someone plays this game and chooses to be a mid-level HR executive that just makes decisions on like payroll.
Yeah.
Somebody plays this game and chooses to sit there at a table and mix a podcast. And then chime in every once in a while.
That was their choice at the beginning.
That's somebody's life choice.
It's really far down the drop down menu.
And they don't get paid for it. I mean, they get paid, but not a lot, not enough.
I just love.
And
the
he goes
drop
home
down
to his
menu.
life wife.
Life wife. So
That's got to be an HR.
Yeah, there is someone just literally pushing paper in a
100%.
game.
Well, here's the thing, because there's full nations that have boundaries and they call them alliances.
Yeah.
And they have boundaries of their territory inside
Sure.
this universe.
They have leaders?
And within those, they have elected officials, they have laws, they have
How do you
governing
become a leader
bodies.
through a text-based game?
I think there's mics.
There's Mike. You think someone's just powerful enough? They're like, hello, I will lead you. And there's a bunch of 12-year-olds, you know,
They're like, okay.
being like, my mom cuts my steak. You know, whatever they say.
My mom goes,
12-year-olds, bro. And they're out there. They're like, I guess this guy will lead us because he's old.
sir, can you cut your own steak?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's another 12-year-old going.
It just pretends.
Yeah. This is what I sound like because I'm an old man.
Yeah, I cut my steak all the time. And so these nations,
This
they
is
have,
so stupid.
and inside them are corporations that live within these nations, and those corporations have specific tasks, like refining materials and manufacturing.
How did all
goods,
this stuff get set up then?
slowly over time. So what the game developers did is they built this universe with all these kind of parameters around it, and then just let the players run wild and do whatever they did. And this is
So it's
kind
just
of where
future Second Life.
similar, I guess, but it's much more realistic. With
Are there
the way it's
people who
played
their
out.
full-time job is to be in this game?
No, so that's the issue. Which
That's the issue. The issue is that some of these people are devoting 50 hours a week to this.
and then they have another job.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, man, my job is just not fulfilling because I'm a minor.
There are people who are.
But I'm told if I
presidents.
stick at it for another 15 years, I'll get my pension.
Problem is, I don't know if you're making this joke about the person's real life or the game.
It's both.
It's
Great.
both.
Great.
Every day
That was the brilliance of that joke.
Every day I mine, and then I go home and mine. Yeah, so
To a wife that's mine.
and then in my dreams I mime.
That's what I meant when I signed up, but the M and the N are too close to each other. I said I want to be a mime.
I want to be a space mime so bad.
What do you want to be? We should do a mime podcast where we just release a 40-minute block of silence every week.
The mime cast.
I mean, it wouldn't go on Spotify because they check for that now.
Do they?
Someone
No, no,
released
no.
an album that was like an hour of silence, and they just told all their fans, like, hey, listen to this while you sleep. And it paid royalties, and
it's
Spotify
silent.
got mad.
Well, we would do all the hand motions.
Yeah, we could.
AS Mimar.
Wow, that killed me. I was like wheezing over here. I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so where was I
Because
at?
your lungs are weak from the mine.
From the mine.
So there's a whole, I mean, so it got set up slowly over time.
Slowly over time. And it's similar to Second Life, but a little different because of a couple things. Well, the biggest one being is you can spend real life dollars to get game dollars. They're called ISK, and the exchange rate is it's about $6 for 1 billion ISK. So
Jeez. So, I mean, like, they're just spending.
the buying power isn't great. So $6 gets you 1 billion ISK. The problem is you can't go from in the game out. Whereas Second Life you could. In this, well, you can go from in the game out, but it's
But
not.
not by the rules.
Yeah, there are like Like,
yeah, websites where you can. There was things for RuneScape where you could buy 100,000 gold coins for $20 or whatever.
but the exchange rate is not as good. Like, if you're going to sell on those and you're selling 1 billion ISK, you're not going to get $6 back for it. You're going to get like 2 or 3.
Okay.
So the exchange rate's not the same if you're trying to go from game to real life money.
Okay.
But it's possible.
Sure.
Game doesn't want you to do it.
Right.
They've talked about maybe doing that in the future, but it's a gray area.
But it would just make our economy too shaky.
Well, their concern is that the game's been around since 2003, and so there's some people who've earned a lot of money in this game. And if they all just mad rush to get rid of all their money to get real money, then one, there's the logistical issue of the publisher having to try to pay out that money because it's a lot.
But also, their game would just collapse.
There's no economy. What about the economy? It's a real thing. And so a few things have happened in this game that are very unique.
Okay.
The first one was casinos.
Space casinos?
Yeah, so a few of these corporations got together and they opened up casinos, which worked exactly like casinos. You go in there, you gamble, you maybe make money.
Who made the mechanics, the games to gamble?
Well, gambling was a mechanic in the game. These people were corporatizing it, making a casino, making a big thing.
Okay.
But as you know, the house always wins. And so these people made a stupid load of money off of this.
Sure.
And a lot of them
We should open a casino, by the way.
A video game casino?
Nope. Real one.
Casino. Got a river over here.
With a speakeasy inside.
The Speakeasy Casino.
Pouring out cocktails every night.
Did you see? Was it? I can't remember what the context of it was, but I texted you, and I texted a pouring out drink, and
No.
I don't. And
You texted me something?
It was an emoji,
I did not see it.
but it was a drink getting poured out,
Okay.
and it was that reference. And I was like, "How is there an emoji for this?"
There's not an emoji for that.
There is an emoji. Search emojis poured out.
All right.
There's one, and it's great for referencing this really niche joke in this niche podcast. If you ever need it, it's there.
Send that to all your friends.
Thanks to the drink. No, so the casinos were hugely profitable.
Sure.
And the casino owners, they some of them were getting into that underground exchange world, like taking real money out, because they're making millions of dollars a day. This game, the game developer said right now they are processing within the game's marketplaces over 1 million transactions a day. It's a massive economy of just stuff getting moved around. Currently, 1 million a day.
That's crazy.
And
where's the game based out of?
The internet, space. I don't know. Let me look. Iceland.
Oh, Icelandia.
Yeah, they're from.
Don't try it. Don't do this to yourself.
Reykjavik.
I gave you the out.
Reykjavik, Iceland. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I vacationed there last year.
No, you didn't.
I'm very rich.
Nope.
Yeah, I chose rich at birth.
And so the casino operators, they started actually money laundering within the game, and so they shut it down. They were like, no more casinos. Casinos aren't allowed.
How are they money laundering?
I think it was legitimate money laundering where they were
putting... Is there taxes in the game? What do you mean they were money laundering?
Well, no. I think it was legitimate money laundering. They were taking real life money, dropping it in the game, cleaning it through the casinos in the game, and then pulling it back out and selling it out and pulling the money out. So it was like legitimate money laundering, not...
What do you mean pulling it back out and selling it? What are you talking about?
Like same thing where we talked about a second ago where you could take
sell
your ISK
coins?
And sell the ISK and then get the money out. So they were putting it in to buy ISK in the game, cleaning it in the casino, and then pulling that clean cash back out by selling it in another marketplace.
Okay.
Which is just... I don't know, start a real casino, man. And so the game companies...
I mean, if you only got $6...
I need to launder these $6.
Hey, you know a guy who can help me launder 6 million? Nah. 600,000? No.
I need to launder
No, I need to
658.
launder $7.57.
I think at that point, the guy just walks over to a vending machine, puts $1 in, and hits coin return.
Until
Clean.
you get the money. It's clean. Or you just throw that in a...
You got a Ziploc bag of quarters now?
Yeah, so some people started money laundering and they were like, yeah, we need to shut this down.
Sure.
So the casinos all got shut down, and that led to a bunch of issues.
Riots in the streets.
Where's our casinos?
In the space streets.
So here's issue number 1 was the casinos died. Issue number 2 that started forming in the game was the game does have taxes. There's
Why?
a couple.
What?
There's a couple forms of taxes in the game. One, there is like a state tax for whatever nation or they call them alliance you're a part of, and so you pay like a 1%
Okay.
tax of your income to these alliances.
How do they know?
So these alliances, they operate these taxes, and what they do is when you're within their borders, they have their military, which is just other players that protect.
Frisky for Isk? Isk friskers?
They protect anything that happens within their boundaries.
Sure.
So if you're running a company, if you're mining, they're protecting your company. They're protecting.
So
you
you
while
owe them
ship.
money. I get
And
that.
so yeah, it's just like any other country. And so
Sure, but
you tax
how do
them.
they know how much money you're making?
I don't know. They
You
have
can
an
just-
IRS. They have. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't know what the profit is on your corporation.
I think they do. I think
How?
there is.
You could
I think
lie.
you have to. I think all that stuff gets reported in game, just like it does in real life.
Again, someone chose middle management for their online game.
I guess someone's just a real rule follower.
I mean, they've got them. They've got the rules in it.
I'm a minor. Did you hear my voice crack? It wasn't because it's because I didn't mean like a minor. I meant there are children in the game.
So the tax to the alliances is not that big of a deal for players. It's like 1%. It's not a huge deal. The sales tax, on the other hand, was a big deal.
If you sell it within our alliance, would tax you?
Yeah, so there was, and when the game first started, you could go approach any other player and sell to another player, just like, hey, you want to buy this thing? Like you can now in real life. Like,
Yeah, there was this thing. Wait, did you think they invented trade? Like, there's this thing where like you could just go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, you want to buy something?" And it's like totally revolutionized the way the real economy works.
You can't do that in real life. You can't just walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, you want to buy something?" No one will say yes. They will be.
You want to bet?
They will be like,
Do you want to bet?
They'll be like,
Do you?
why?
Which one of us do you think is a better salesman?
Did you
wanna bet?
steal it?
You
Did
wanna
you
bet?
steal that? Where'd you get it?
You wanna bet?
Should I buy that? Sorry, do you take cards?
Which one of us do you think could sell things better?
If we had square card readers, maybe. I think
Why
we
would
have
you
to
need
have
that
card
answer?
readers because nobody
What, am I
carries cash
selling?
anymore.
Am I selling the card reader? What are you talking
Nobody
about? What am
carries cash anymore.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So we would need a card reader.
But
if
I
we're
could
gonna
get somebody
do
to
sales.
agree to buy something without actually selling it. I'll sell your car today.
Whether you like it or not.
I don't
it's
think you
just
could.
gonna go do it.
I
You don't have to agree to
I don't
it.
think you could.
You don't think I could?
Yeah, you can't even open the door.
Hey, baby, you wanna take this thing for a test drive? Let's
Yeah, you're gonna have to crawl on the passenger side.
hold on. Just give me a second. Hold on.
Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Reach over there.
I'm doing the thing where I'm putting my foot on the door and trying to pull the door.
Trying to pry it open. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick can get it open.
Okay, so no, that originally you could sell player to player anywhere just by striking up a conversation and saying, "Do you want to buy something?" But there were specified marketplaces built by the game within specific locations.
Okay.
Where you could go. There was a major marketplace. You
Yeah,
could
like
set up a
an
shop. It was a
exchange.
shopping mall.
Yeah.
Within those, there was a 5% sales tax. And there was a few reasons the game did that. The biggest one was to take money out of circulation to keep things from getting overabundant.
crazy.
Yeah. But obviously...
Well, yeah, if you're selling $1 billion for $6.
So the obviously the ultra rich in the game were like, I got to find a way to get out of this. And so they did. They started building these tax havens, which were marketplaces that these players built inside the bounds of their own nation where they could set the sales tax rate because it was their own marketplace. And then they could, with them and all their players and allies, they could come there and do their business there and get the 1% sales tax instead of the 5% sales tax. This became a very interesting event in the game because once this was figured out, a bunch of people started trying to do it. And then there was this huge competition for these marketplaces, which sparked a lot of war because there were certain marketplaces that were more valuable than others that either had better tax rates or more customers than others. And everybody wanted to be able to sell their product from there. And so...
Sell what product?
I don't know. Their mind,
whatever they were doing?
Their mind goods.
What, this is like Etsy? You want to buy like Disney ears for your character? What do you mean their product? It's still part of the game.
Yeah.
They're not just making something up.
Yeah. I guess.
I'm selling this bronze sword that I found. And I want to make sure I get the best tax break on it. What are you talking about?
And it prompted these huge wars where people...
Can you show me a picture of what just gameplay looks like?
Yeah.
So I can get a better idea of what this is. Not that picture, Tim.
Oh. I do have... This is... in the main markets in the game, they have logs of pricing for everything. And so it keeps track of real-time prices. So this is a medium shield
RuneScape
extender.
had this too, though.
And so it keeps track of what is happening in the economy and how valuable the goods that you have are. And so it was almost like a stock market where you could get goods and sit on it.
RuneScape had the Grand Exchange.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, they had the same thing.
Great.
It's the same game.
RuneScape is so cool, man.
Except for RuneScape was set in 21,000 BC. It was set in medieval times.
Which, depending on what you think about history...
may or may not have happened.
Let's see here.
I don't think history happened, man.
You don't?
No. The more I think about it, I go, before I was here, nothing was here. You know?
Before I was here, none of this existed.
None of this existed.
There's no way any of this was real before me. So here's someone flying through space in the game.
Oh, this is like pretty... Huh.
Yeah.
This is like good graphics.
Yeah.
And this server is big enough to handle all this?
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a big game, man. Big game.
It's crazy that some people are wanting to fly through space and other people are just selling lemonade on the side of the space rock. There's got to be someone who's cleaning up the space rock, too. There's got to be a janitor.
Yeah. There are.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
I was listening to it, and there was a common tactic in battle where they would blow up entire moons to create an artificial asteroid belt, so that way reinforcements would have a harder time getting into the combat.
That's kind of cool, though.
It's kind of cool. But
then the manager of that moon, you know,
my moon, my space moon.
What other moon is there, Tim? Go ahead.
Earth moon.
Okay.
So
they're all space moons.
I know, that's the joke. Hey, thanks again for listening to this episode. If you like our show, make sure you follow us on social at TILLN Podcast or subscribe anywhere where you're listening to right now, whether that's YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. And if you want more, we do have a Patreon you can support us on. In there, you get all sorts of perks like ad-free episodes, early access to our content, and even a Discord with our hosts and producers. So we'd love for you to check that out. All you got to do is text TILLN to 66866. That's TILLN to 66866. But thanks again for checking us out. So these tax havens pop up, and they spark all these wars. And what happened was...
So there wasn't a war.
Specific...
Before the tax havens, the 5 nations lived at peace. Is that what you're saying?
Kinda. There was these specific tax havens...
How many
where
different...
it was safe...
Nations, alliances are there?
Dozens, but the most prominent ones, there's about 8 prominent ones.
Wow.
But
so
there's
it
dozens.
really does reflect just the world.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it got to the point where with these tax havens, where marketplaces, these wars made it to where it was only safe or profitable to use specific ones.
Right.
So a bunch of other ones, they couldn't afford the upkeep, and they fell into disrepair and basically disappeared. I mean, they're still floating through space. But
how do you fire somebody in this world where you go, hey man,
I know this is what you chose at the start.
hey man, sorry, I asked my mom how to run this business, and she said that our revenue is too low, and you are. I'm really sorry about this, but to protect the company
And its interests.
I think that you're fired. Hey, I'm really sorry about it.
What am I supposed to do? I got an Eve wife.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm 12. I don't have a life wife or an Eve wife. I don't even know if I want a wife.
Last time this happened, I applied for unemployment and they didn't grant it.
Well, you know.
I don't know what unemployment is.
My mom's calling. I gotta go. I got homework. Imagine getting fired by somebody and then they leave to do homework. Hey, I know you did accounting for our alliance. Real quick, could you help me with my math homework? Are you the leader of this? Yeah, I am the leader. Who needs help with his math homework? This is stupid.
Yeah, so that was a big deal, right? The tax havens. And then there was this season in the game where there was just this overabundance of goods because players were playing a lot, and then a bunch of goods entered into the economy, but there was more than could be purchased.
And then the bubble popped?
Yes.
Shut up.
And so what was happening was there was just so much out there that it kind of became, there was no point to the game because anybody could go get whatever good they wanted. They could mine it, they could get it, and then they could go upgrade it.
Yeah, there's 2-day shipping within the game.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of living?
It got kind of boring.
Yeah.
And so
that's how I feel about real life.
So what the
I go, gosh,
developers...
I'm so rich. You know? And I sit here and and now my goal is kind of shifted. I want to give that money back. You know, I would love for you to be rich one day. It's very far in the future.
So I have this for $1,200. You can watch my course.
Yeah. On how I got very rich. You can also buy my protein powder mix. Rich mix.
Rich mix. Drink it once a day and you'll get rich.
One scoop a day. It's more about the mindset of the rich.
Yeah, you'll get rich and jacked.
Jacked.
So the developers created an artificial recession. And the way they did that was, one, they crunched the supply of goods in the universe. So they took how much you could get from mining and they crunched it down a lot. And so it was not as easy to get raw materials, which over time shrunk the amount of goods in the universe. They also increased the amount of materials you needed to produce anything. So for whether that was ships or weapons or
cut
any other
the supply, make a bigger. Yeah, I get you.
And this created this big recession in the game. And so these three factors, the casinos getting crushed, the tax havens becoming this kind of choke point, and then this artificial recession sparked this massive war in the game where there was now specific regions in the universe.
You think they see each other out in public?
That's Space Imperium 122.
And he's like,
I should slap that guy.
Yeah. And he's like, Mom, this man's being mean to me in the store. Brian, this is awkward. I fired you last week. Please leave me alone. I gotta go to practice.
I a T-ball.
Like a 12-year-olds don't play T-ball.
Some do. These ones do.
You did. You did as a 12-year-old. That's what I hear. I'm an idiot. So I like the idea there was a grown man showing up to a middle school to stand outside and confront
the kid who fired him.
Honey, I got to go to Indiana, you know.
Looks like I got to go to Indiana. He's just standing there.
You know, one time in my small town, there was a guy. This is how small my town was. There was a guy with a monkey outside our middle school.
Was there a reason, or?
Yeah, he's picking up his kid and had a monkey, and all the kids were coming over and like they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's a cute little monkey," right? And then someone called the cops, and they were like, "This guy's trying to lure." Well, it's Mount Vernon, dude.
Yeah,
everyone knew who this guy was. He knows all the teachers. He's the guy that owns half the town.
Someone was like, "Oh, that's creepy."
He took an ad out in the paper. It was like, "Hey guys, that was just me. Sorry for all the confusion." For real,
he took an ad out to say sorry. That was me.
Yes, because
why didn't he just tell someone?
What do you mean tell someone? He told when the police showed up, they were like, "Oh,
yeah, but why couldn't he?" You said there's what, like, how many people were in your town? Like 2,000,
like 4,000 people. Sure,
yeah, he could have just talked to everyone
individually. Yeah,
hey, by the way, sorry, that was me.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing that every day since. He has coffee with one person a day. You know, some of them have died.
Remember that time
before he got to him.
Ago?
Hey, remember that time 10 years ago where there was a guy outside the middle school? He has to do it really fast too. Hey, remember that time 10 years ago somebody was outside the middle school with a monkey and then someone called the cops and I took it out of the paper and I was like, "Hey, that was me. That was me.
That was me. I'm sorry about it. I didn't mean to scare you."
Okay.
All right.
I'm 12. I was 2 at the time. Thanks for telling me. No, but that's what I'm saying. He took an ad out in the paper because it's a well-known person in our town.
Yeah.
And anybody in the town knows who it is,
yeah,
but one parent didn't know and made this whole fiasco.
Yeah. So then he took an ad out.
So he took an ad out in the paper. It was like, it was just me and my monkey.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I'm safe. So this recession prompted a massive war where you might call it a world war or a universe war, where all the alliances in the game started vying for these areas.
Do they have uniforms, colors? Like, how do you know when you're seeing somebody who's in your alliance?
Well, I mean, you've got your ships all have like their insignia and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they would have those massive battles like the one that I showed you. And that's where they were getting the screenshots because these were getting financed by in-game players who obviously like they earned a lot of their money in game. They probably did put some real money towards it, but the value, like an exchange rate of these battles was in the millions of US dollars, but it was game dollars. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there were these massive, because in the game, like if you die or your ship gets destroyed, it's gone. Like you don't get it back.
And you don't get your life back?
Well, I don't know if you get your life back. I'm not sure about that. But I do know any good that you use is gone. So your ammo, your shields, your ship, your citadels, your marketplaces, like if they get destroyed, they're gone for good. And so you're totally out that investment. And so these were massive.
People were losing a lot of money.
They're losing a lot. And it's not that matters a ton because there's not a good way to pull that money out yet. There could be in the future.
Sure.
There's talks of that. But
there's got to be people whose lives have been ruined by this thing, right?
Probably. I would think so. I mean, there are people in here who are like political figures. Like they know who they are. There's one nation in there where they have their leader of their nation is like a like a celebrity because he'll do. I mean, they all of the leaders will do speeches and they will have like big like press conferences where they meet with the people in the nation because these nations are these alliances. Some of them have
what
50,
if that person goes on vacation
people.
They just don't log in for a couple of days and everyone's like, what happens if the leader dies in real life?
Yeah, I don't know.
And the word just has to all of a sudden one day they wake up to a message that's like, hey guys, he wanted me to get on his computer and let you guys know that this was his passion in his life. What?
It's like an encrypted message on his website.
That's what I'm saying. That was the joke.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you were doing. But there wasn't a clear hook, so I wasn't sure.
Well, it was supposed to be good enough that only the real listeners got it. But then you were like, oh, it's like a callback to the Dude, quiet pills.
So these.
I'm trying to do art over here, dude.
Oh, it's like a callback to the. So, because these nations, they are made up of literally thousands.
Yeah, you could have stopped
tens
there.
of thousands.
They're made up. You could have stopped there.
Thousands of people.
Sure.
And they all have roles.
So there's been nations who just get obliterated. They're just done.
Yeah, they get wiped out pretty quickly because I mean, there's a few thousand versus tens of thousands.
Sure.
With a bunch more money, honestly.
What do you do? Do you just join one of the other ones if your nation dies?
I don't know. Well, it's probably pretty similar to whatever happens in the real world. You just kind of get assimilated, I guess.
Sure. Your culture gets taken over.
Yeah. But I watched a gameplay video, actually. It's interesting, like, some of the players who've been in the game longer are, like, the commanders of armies now. And it's very interesting watching it because they... I don't know. I feel like you get in most video games and you hear people on the chat and it's just kind of absurd.
Sure.
But in this one, like...
They know the game.
Yeah, the commander...
And they know that country. They go, I know their fighting style.
Yeah, the commander was on there, and he's like, all right, recycle hyper cannons 1, 2, 6 on this target, and then like naming it, and then he's like, fire, 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 and he's like, hold, and he's like, all right, and then whatever, recycle cannons.
They're a well-regulated
3, 2,
group.
1, fire, and yeah, it's like, it was very.
Do you think they practice?
They have to, because it was like watching it was honestly like, it was methodical. It was very. It's smooth.
Yeah. Do you think they recruit? Do you have to try out? Do you start as a minor and then you get in there? Like what?
They go to the high school, the space high schools. They're like, how many push-ups can you do?
Yeah, run the 40. You know? What are you talking about?
They do typing tests.
It's like, well, dude, all the characters
How
run the
fast
same
can you type?
speed. And it's like, well, if you have that mentality, you're not fit for our military.
You're not fit. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna be a minor. Yeah, so it's a
study in school, kids. Work hard, otherwise you'll be a minor for your whole life.
Yeah, so it's a wild game with an economy that's ridiculously accurate to the real world. They modeled it after the NASDAQ, and it's economists. There's a lot of economists who look at it because that's what's interesting is you'll see these headlines pop up in gaming like websites. But you'll also see these headlines pop up in these like economy and business. Yeah.
USA Today.
Talking about like this economy in this video game is so
It's
realistic.
right next to it. It goes NASDAQ, Dow Jones, EVE Online.
EVE Online. Yeah, see what's going on in this.
I'm just checking my stocks.
Yeah, they're having these recessions and these crashes and the
Honey, what are you
results of
doing?
the tax havens.
Well, you know, I guess since...
Ever since the war.
Oh. Honey, I just haven't been the same since Castle fired me yesterday.
Castle.
Did you say that's his real name? He's 12.
They even Imperium is one of the nations, is the biggest one in the game. During that big war, they even sold war bonds to their people to finance the war.
What do you spend all your money on? War bonds.
Virtual war bonds in EVE Online.
Hey, do your thing, man. Whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a super realistic game. There's a possibility in the future that they open it up where there's an exchange to get your money out of there. And if there is, there's some people who are very, very rich from the amount of hours that they put into this game. But...
I guess I should go see if RuneScape has a trade out. I put a lot of time into that game, be honest.
How much money do you think you could have earned? Like you ballpark it.
Through the lifetime, or how much do I have in my account right now?
Yeah, how much money, if you could go pull it out right now, how much money do you think you could get?
What is I don't know what the question is. The money, how many gold pieces do I have in my account?
Yes.
Versus like, and then what do I think the exchange rate is? Look up.
Well, I'm doing the exchange rate.
Look up RuneScape GP to US dollars. Let's see what it is right now. I have probably 6.2 mil.
6.2 million?
Yeah.
It says right now it is about $36 US per 100 million.
Wow.
So
Not a lot.
You've got a few bucks.
To 100
You should get that
million? Wait. Can you buy 100 million? Or $36? There's just a couple things that I've wanted to buy in the game. And if it's
$36 for 100 million. Man, you're going to be rolling.
Dude, I'm going to go drop $200. I'm going to roll into RuneScape with $600 million.
Make it $400. Just be a billionaire. I've always wanted to be a RuneScape billionaire.
Well, there's just a couple items that I've always wanted that have just been out of reach, you know?
Yeah.
Let's do this later. I might log into.
All right. Yeah, we can fiddle this off. You can go jump on to RuneScape if you want.
No, that's okay. Hey, you made it to the end of the episode. You're probably asleep right now because you let it keep playing. But if you aren't asleep, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get more videos. And also, if you can't wait for more, we've got plenty of other episodes and highlight clips, just some of our funniest parts, the things we enjoy the most. This show is an absolute blast, and I cannot thank you enough for being here.